If you guys are looking for some cheap coins on FC25, make sure you check out MMOEXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're fast, cheap, and reliable. And if you use my code Rema, you can get yourself a lovely 5% discount. So, what's up boys, it's Ash here, welcome back to a brand new video. Sorry for no upload yesterday, but it was quite an important day in terms of my own personal life. And not to bore you guys to death, but I ended up getting another job. I got a new job, so I'm quite pleased with that as far as getting a job goes. But yeah, that's why there was no upload. But yeah, today we're back with a 4-1-4-1 custom tactics and player roles video for you to help you out in FC25. Now, the reason this formation is actually so good is because you can almost have like a back four, obviously, when you're defending, and then like 5 across the midfield, and then just that lone striker up top. But then you can actually transform it into quite an attacking team with the ball as well. So it's really nice to use, and I'm going to show you guys that right now. And yeah, let's get right into the video, guys. Hope you enjoy. Okay then guys, so starting off with the tactics, ensure that you have the preset on custom. This is so you can make all the changes that you want to make. If you have it on one of EA's preset ones, you can't exactly change it to your liking. So just ensure it's on custom so you can do what you want with it. And then the formation we're using is just this 4-1-4-1 here. So this is the one you want to have on. For the build-up style, guys, this is like a preference-based thing, to be honest with you, but I like having it on balance. Now, the reason I like balanced is because I find it to be the most consistent and the most varied when you are building up. So when you use balance, guys, you can basically pick and choose between short, passing, and counter, you know, whenever it's necessary. So you kind of just have like a mixed attack as opposed to, you know, setting something and really making those players stick to it. But that being said, if you want to have short passing on because you love that tiki-taka and stuff like that, that's absolutely fine. And likewise, if you just want to lump through balls all the time, you can also have it on counter. So yeah, it's completely down to you, but I have this on balance, guys. Now, similarly, for the defensive approach, you can pretty much do what you want with this as well. There is no right or wrong with this. Now, I use it on aggressive, so the line height by default is on 95. Now, the reason I do this is because the AI defending in FC25 is an absolute joke. It is so overpowered, and it basically does everything for you. And basically what happens in this game as well is even when you're not controlling your defenders, they'll kind of like tackle through behind, like they'll tackle from behind and still get the ball and stuff like that. And it's just really automatic and overpowered, and obviously players don't have a lot of pace and they can't run in this game, so there's not really much of a downside. Maybe stamina, but you know, not really too much of an issue, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, if you guys want to use high or balanced or deep, then just use what you want. You know, you can even manually adjust it if you want to, but again, it's completely up to what you want to do. So that, like I said, no right or wrong. And yeah, they're the tactics. Let's get on to the roles, guys. So without the ball, this is what it looks like. So I'm sure you guys are aware now, whichever formation you use to base your tactics off is the formation you will always defend with when you don't have the ball. So you can see we've got the 4-1-4-1, so it just defends in a 4-1-4-1. That's kind of like how EA have set it up. There's no like setting something off the ball and then on the ball. It's not how it works in this game. But without the ball, this is what it looks like. So the reason this formation is so good is because, as you can see, it is quite a good defensive shape. You've got like the back four, you've got the DM ready to, you know, protect the back line and cut out the passing lane and stuff, and you've also got like another line of 4, so your opponent doesn't really have a lot of space to get into in order to attack. But more interestingly, guys, this is a bit more what it looks like on the ball. So it's very similar to my 4-3-3 that I posted. Now, the reason I've made it like the 4-3-3 is because I actually like the attacking shape that I have with the 4-3-3. The only issue I have is defensively it's not as good, but this 4-1-4-1, as you can see here, is very good defensively. So I can have like the best of both worlds, where I have the attacking formation I want and also a decent defensive one. So let's quickly go through these individual player roles. So on my striker, Haaland, I have him on poacher. This is because it means he's always going to be there to score goals, you know, like an absolute tap-in merchant, always going to make runs and be an absolute nuisance for defenders. The one thing I will say is you don't have to have it on poacher. I would also recommend something like advanced forward, because that means you have a really nice well-rounded player. But the reason we've gone with poacher for Haaland is because I do actually like poacher, and he has the plus in it, which means he's better at it than, you know, putting him on advanced forward. But advanced forward or poacher, take your pick. You can even do false 9 if you want to, but bear in mind you won't really have any, you know, reliable striker there. So I just go with poacher. Now for the right mid and the left mid, guys, what we do is we pop them on inside forward, and then we also switch them from balance to attack. So we do inside forward because I really like the attacking AI. So as you can see from the heat map, they start their runs out in those wider positions, which means they're going to start out wide on the wings and then transition more into those narrow areas to get close to goal and be more of a threat. So I really love this movement. Inside forward is very good. It's also good for like the finesses and the trivellas, which you have to use in this game. And then we also shift their focus, like I said, to attack. This is so they behave a bit more like an actual forward as opposed to a midfielder, as you can see here. So it just gets us a bit more going in the attack. And obviously when we don't have the ball, they just sit back in that left mid position anyway, so it's no big deal. So we have that on both the right mid and the left mid. Now for this left centre mid, we're using that Thuram SBC card here. So we pop him on the box-to-box role. So this is somebody that's just going to get up and down the pitch. You can see from the heat map, they basically go everywhere, up and down, help you transition, and they just give you a bit of everything. Somebody that has the role, obviously, like the role plus or the plus plus is really good, but just ensure that you have somebody with a really nice, well-rounded card so that they can, you know, consistently do a lot of everything. Now for the DM, obviously we're just going to use an absolute anchor, defensive machine. So we use Rodri, somebody that's just going to break up the play, keep the passes going and help you build up. It's a very important position. Make sure you have a competent DM, one with decent interceptions, defending, one that can also pass the ball because they're going to get the ball quite a lot in this formation. So just ensure you use somebody very reliable. Pace, I wouldn't actually say in this role specifically. It's one of the only roles that I would say it for isn't that important. So this Rodri, who doesn't have much pace, still is an absolute beast in this position. So just go for somebody that is very, very good on the ball and good at tackling as well with a bit of decent height. Now for this right centre mid, we kind of use them as a bit of a makeshift attacking midfielder. So we pop them on the playmaker role and then we leave their focus on the attack. Now the reason we do this is because if we just have, let's say, another box-to-box, you can see there's quite a big gap between the midfield and the attack. That's one of the main drawbacks of this shape of the formation in itself. So by putting this player on playmaker, like I said, they act a bit more of a creative player and they give you a bit more. You can see with De Bruyne here, I can either play in like Chiesa, I could play a curved through ball into Haaland, I can turn back and pass to Rodri. We've got Dalot overlapping on the right as well. So we've got like a lot of different options. You know, if you want to make him a roaming playmaker where he's a bit less limited in where he goes, you can, but I like having him, you know, in that specific position there. It's obviously beneficial as well if you can get somebody with like long ball plus or incisive plus, because they're going to be the main playmaker in the team. So this role, I think, is very, very good, especially on a centre mid here. Now for this right back, Dalot, I pop them on wing back. Now the reason we do this is because, like I said, we have the right mid on the left mid and the left mid on inside forward, so they transition into the narrow areas, meaning we don't really have anyone out wide unless we use a wing back. So we pop this guy on wing back. This is so he can give us that extra width in the attack when necessary, but I've gone with wing back as opposed to attacking wing back because I think attacking wing back can be a little bit too aggressive, and obviously we can get a bit caught out. So I prefer wing back, just the default, as I think it's a bit more reliable. But if you have somebody, let's say, with attacking wing back plus or plus plus, you can maybe use that as well. It's completely up to you guys. Now for the left back, what I actually do is I just leave them on the full back role here and on balance. Now the reason I don't pop them on defend is because although you can see we defend with that, we have that back three when we're on the ball, which means if we lose out in possession, we're not going to be immediately screwed. You can see if we do this, there's not really anybody covering that left hand side. So that means we don't really have any width if we're passing across or we need to switch a play. So by popping this player on balance, you'll see he covers that area. So we've always got someone there when we need it. So, you know, if we need that simple switch to beat the press, we can do that. So I like just having this fullback here on balanced. For the two centre-backs, guys, we just have them on defender. I don't like really using the other ones unless I'm using a back five, which I don't really do. But if you want to do stopper or ball-playing defender, then that is fine. And the keeper, I just have them on the default keeper role. But yeah, guys, there are my tactics and instructions for this 4-1-4-1. If you guys have enjoyed or found it useful, please be sure to drop this a thumbs up, sub to the channel if you are new, and don't forget to turn on those notifications. And with all that aside, guys, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out, guys, and take care.